Yeah, and of course, a very wonderful day to you out there once again under the sound of my voice. What a brand new day, brand new week today, the 10th day in the month of October 2022. Well, it happens to be World Mental Health Day actually, and we celebrate it every 10th day in the month of October 2022. There's a particular day I'm waiting for, and if you know October 13, if you remember what we celebrate on that day.
No, it's week now.
No.
Eh?
That day, that particular day.
There is breast week.
Not no Brad day.
Okay,
that's
no Brad
October
day.
13.
Sorry.
I'm patiently and eagerly waiting for that one.
Yeah, I know.
But today is not to talk about
Okay, no.
It's to talk about mental health actually.
No, okay.
And as Africans, we don't really take mental health as something. We don't take it serious really. I mean, even according to WHO statistics, out of the 10 countries in the world where suicide is very rampant, Africa holds about 6 slots of those 10 countries that are topping on the list of countries that actually commit suicide so much. And when I dug for that, statistics in the African continent shows that a psychiatrist in Africa, about as 500,000 people have access to one psychiatric in Africa, and if you put that down to statistics, that's 100 times below what WHO actually recommend. Imagine Old Trafford is 70,000 capacity. It's a 70,000 capacity stadium. Now imagine having that place being filled up, or having Old Trafford times 7 or times 10, and just one psychiatric personnel being able to attend to about 500,000 people. It's especially in this world these days. I, as a first child, firstborn, I know what comes with. I was having this discussion with some couple of other firstborns, and it's not like my parents raised me to always take responsibility and take care of my sister or my siblings. But I can make it bold to say, if 10,000 naira enter my account today, before I spend 2,000 naira for my own personal self, I would have spent about 8,000. I would have even spent about 9,000 for my siblings. And yeah, so responsibilities, and these are some of the things that are leading to one's mental health. I mean, these days, throughout last year, we saw people drinking sniper, people committing suicide and everything. I just feel like our mental health conversations are conversations we should bring to the front burner. Have this conversation once more, so that we can save people from depression and we can have a better world.
It's an illness. It's an illness. The practitioners have always been talking about it, that it's one of the illnesses that can befall man, and so it requires you also seeking help. If you notice that you are having something like that, or even people around us. Yeah, exactly. Once you notice someone, acting very strange, that this person's action, contravenes or is not on the same path that you used to know the person, then that you have to look for a way to seek advice, to seek medical help, for such a person, maybe to advise the person to seek medical help. And we should not we shouldn't compound the such troubles, such challenge.
I mean, most times we tend to joke,
make
mockery
and stigmatize.
Exactly.
And stigmatize, with
that's why most people, keep mute. They are scared of the mockery. They are scared of, the jesting that will come with it, and they just decide to keep short and do those pressures and those depression, by themselves. And most of the time, you can't fight it alone. Most times, we need to start having this conversation. Yeah, I know it's an African thing that most times, maybe the way our parents have raised us, we don't want to talk about our own issues because it makes us feel weak. But hey, this is 2022. We have a new set of generation. What our parents faced back then, I mean, we are not as strong as them. We have to admit it. And the way the world is going right now, if you have any underlying issues, please speak out. It's very necessary.
And now that people always have friends, or people talk to friends they have never known before, via social media, and those who you are supposed to, that you see physically, that you are even supposed to
have those
conversations with. But I could remember while we were growing up, we used to go out. We were not worried. We were not bothered about anything.
Play football.
You go out, play football.
You know your parents will beat you at home.
Yes, but you still go and play. You do boju. You do dodgy fire.
Dodgy fire.
Laka. You know all these things.
Play soccer.
You play soccer. You play rubber band.
But even these days, Disney Junior, SpongeBob, even the kids, my junior ones, they've gotten tired of it. They just feel like repetition of episodes, nothing more really coming from those. We had a very beautiful childhood, really.
Oh my jeez.
But mental health conversations, should come to the front burner more, and it's one way we can have a saner world, actually.
Yeah, definitely to have a saner world. Mental health, I'm very sure many Arsenal fans will be basking in euphoria this time around, and it will be a very sweet one, a very sweet week. That will definitely boost their mental health.
Definitely.
But for Liverpool fans, you never can tell. But it was really a tense game yesterday. Very tense, and you can say another good PR for the English Premier League.
Yeah. I think good PR, just like you said. Arteta, he keeps growing leaps and bounds, actually, and I have to give him kudos for yesterday's match. Now, after the loss to Manchester United, I'm not sure I've seen any other Arsenal game, 90 minutes of Arsenal game after that particular loss to Manchester United. And I have to give him kudos because he has picked one or two things from that Manchester United loss. I mean, after that, William Saliba and Gabriel, they never cross. They are usually conversant of the fact that we are defenders.
Yeah.
And there's limits to how we can support the attack. If you notice that game yesterday, they didn't cross that line, that halfway line. That was one nonsense mistake they made against Manchester United, thinking, I'm sure Arteta must have instructed them that, hey guys, just keep, because it's one of the things that Manchester City used against Manchester United. Manuel Akanji and Nathan Ake never crossed that line, and they were always there to keep, Rashford at bay whenever he's gets the chance at counter or whatever. So I think Saliba and Gabriel listening, it has to be an Arteta work, stuck to that particular command or formation, and I have to give him that kudos. You could have said, well, we are going out gongo this way, and it has always worked for us. Even after the Manchester United match, we still won game, so why not keep trying it? At the end of the day, if they had not been careful yesterday and the likes of Saliba, kept overlapping, so to say, let me use that word, probably they could have picked apart, and that's talking about Liverpool, could have picked one of their mistakes and punished Arsenal. Another thing was that, against Manchester United, there was a particular time that the game was more like evenly poised. Not evenly poised, really. Arsenal overran Manchester United instead of, to a very large extent, staying back, allow Manchester United to also make mistakes. They felt like, and be patient. Against Liverpool, they felt like, oh, we have the lead right now, let us calm down. They calm down, let Liverpool have the ball, and that's maturity as a coach for me. Is growing. And the utmost thing that I give him kudos for yesterday was the decision to start Tomiyasu at right back, actually, because it was a case of a left back. It was a case of a right-footed Mohamed Salah, in that wing, playing against a left-footed Mohamed Salah, playing against a right-footed Tomiyasu, and whatever runs, he needed someone to outrun Salah in that particular wing, and Tomiyasu didn't really outrun Salah, so to say, but he was always there with his stronger foot. Whenever Salah cuts him with that left foot, there's always a right-footed, left back. That formation was brilliant, and Arteta, I'm beginning to give up right now. It's becoming a genius.
It really learned his lesson against Manchester United. That I said it. I was really angry. I was really angry because I picked a hole in that formation. Fine, fantastic. Arsenal were really fantastic against Manchester United, on that day. But, at times, just stop and don't see yourself as a Pep Guardiola yet. Don't see yourself.
You're right.
Then the second one, at times, if you are playing a big game, you need to have a very different approach. That will suit that particular game. Is to win,
Definitely.
not to just go and not
prove
to just
a
go
point,
and amass
to go and
possession.
exactly,
Not
yeah.
just to amass possession. That against Manchester United, as you've said it, the defenders, they knew that, they were that confident that yes, we will have the ball, we will play.
We will play.
And Ten Hag also had that, he already had that concession that they could not be played. These Arsenal guys could not be played. You can't match them. Just leave them, let them be playing. And so they were, Saliba, Gabriel, and they were doing the normal thing as if they were playing against Fulham or Brighton.
Yeah.
And so you were leaving the, and unfortunately you did not have a Thomas Partey that will cover the defensive midfield for you.
Yeah, I get your point, and I definitely, like I said, I give all the kudos. I mean, there are some coaches that are stubborn, and no matter what you tell them, someone like Antonio Conte, they will still not change that tactics. That is learning. It shows that, I mean, he has a whole lot of, he learns from mistakes, and that's one of the characteristics of being brilliant. Well, going back to the Manchester United game, I still insist that should Arsenal add better player probably on the bench or in the starting 11, they would have probably won that match. And I will not categorically say losing that match is due to them going gongo. Yes, you can attribute that to it actually. Just like against Liverpool, it worked yesterday. The players are now consciously
Samuel, they was naive against Manchester United, and you could see that they learned their lesson and they applied it against Tottenham. And also yesterday,
it happens.
Against Tottenham, they were not.
Tottenham was poor. Tottenham was poor.
No, it was because of the
Tottenham game.
No, Samuel, it was because Tottenham. That was the first game they would lose.
Tottenham after how many draws?
Yes, but
Tottenham has been poor, very poor this season.
They have been top there.
As far as I'm concerned, Tottenham has been piss poor this season.
They have been
and
at the
top. What's Tottenham doing in the Champions League right now?
But
they are in a Europa League kind of situation in the Champions League, and they are still not making it count.
No, they're on the third spot right now.
Yeah, I agree.
So you
I
don't
don't
say that
disagree.
they are poor.
Quite all right. If you look at the games that Tottenham have played this season, well, except Chelsea, that I felt like they should have, outrightly won. Well, they ought to have outrightly won that game, but Chelsea was the better man on that particular day. And there's this controversy of pulling Makukurela's head and everything. They ought to have lost that match. That's talking about Tottenham. So if you look at Tottenham's games this season and you look at the personnel that Antonio Conte has at his disposal, you feel like Tottenham ought to be doing better than they are doing right now. I mean, Tottenham ought to be there, with probably the likes of Manchester City.
Samuel, I disagree. If you are saying that they ought to be doing better, if they are on the third spot right now,
I agree.
I think just 4 points behind Arsenal.
Yeah,
you can say, and whether I like it or not, the two best teams in the Premier League today, as of today,
quite all right.
Arsenal and Manchester United, and these are the two sides
Arsenal
that
Manchester City.
Manchester City. Yeah. Sorry, Jaren. Sorry, Arsenal and Manchester City.
Mm-hmm.
So, and these two teams are ahead of them. So, and not that they are not that they are ahead of them, maybe with a very wide margin that will require a huge mountain to climb.
Mm-hmm.
But they are ahead of them just with 4 to 3 points.
Yeah,
so you can still say that they are still rubbing shoulders with this guy. It's because Arsenal, they've played 10 matches and they've won 9.
9 they've won 8 actually. 9 they've won 8.
No, in the Premier League.
In the Premier League.
About okay, but okay.
No, there was a particular week that we missed out. It's supposed to be game week 10 right now. So the postponement of
they postponed one
Queen
funeral. I think they postponed Manchester City's game.
Arsenal.
So you cannot say that Tottenham Hotspur have not been doing fantastically well this time around. They have been doing well. But they have been doing well. So the statistics, everything proves it.
Okay.
So it was just the sharp brilliance, the lesson learned.
Tottenham were absolutely shambolic against Arsenal. Do you agree?
No, they weren't. They weren't. They weren't. It was because of the red card. That if you looked at it ended 3-1.
Yeah.
And it was when they got the red card that Arsenal were able to dismiss Tottenham.
Even with the red card, do you think Tottenham we saw that they could have pushed Arsenal?
Yeah, because Arsenal have improved tremendously.
Yeah, I do get the point. I do not disagree.
And they had a litmus test against Manchester United.
Yes, which they failed.
Which they failed.
Yeah.
And they went back.
Did their own work.
Not that we could not defeat, they thought that, not that we could not defeat Manchester United, but they felt that we made some mistakes.
And they corrected.
And so they corrected that mistake.
Definitely.
And the mistake was them not being conservative at some point. When you are playing big teams.
Yeah.
And so when they faced Tottenham Hotspur, so they executed that, they fixed that. They saw that, okay, against Tottenham, all right, let us also be conservative. We have the threats that we need, the threats that we need to neutralize,
flanks,
and they neutralize. The likes of Son, the likes of Hurricane, and so they did that. And so another big test for them was against Liverpool. Liverpool, which have been very difficult to be defeated, in the past couple of years for Arsenal. And so Arsenal team. And thank God for them that there was no Sadio Mane, that used to terrorize Arsenal. And so even Firmino was on the bench. They had Luis Diaz and also Darwin Núñez. But Arteta had learned. He had learned his lesson. You could see that when Martinelli got that first goal, that quick goal, when after they got that, they were conservative. They withdrew. Okay, let us sink this in. Allow them play. They were not that agitated, they were not frustrated that they were not getting the ball. But they were able to soak that tension. They soaked that pressure, and they waited for the opportunity to see a counter, and they got that counter. And they got a 2-1 even after Liverpool had equalized. Yeah. So and when they came back, Liverpool equalized again, and they felt that okay, you could see that Arteta did not. It was not so aggressive, because if it were to be on a normal occasion, it would have been going for the jugular of Jurgen Klopp. And at the end of the day, he remained calm and still trusted the guys that okay, they will still do the job.
Definitely.
So and they did the job, and when they had the opportunity to play their free-flowing football again, they went all out and they ran them ragged.
Yeah, like I said, Arteta, I was done as well. I didn't start the conversation. It's very obvious for anybody to see. He has learnt, obviously, especially that's why I said after the Manchester United game, I probably have not seen another 90 minutes. Yeah, against Tottenham, I saw about 87 minutes or thereabouts. I mean, the next game after that, but I couldn't really, judge with the Tottenham performance and the performances after that, because, well, like you said, I've never been, a fan of what Antonio Conte is doing at Tottenham right now. Probably mid-season, maybe we'll come back and have that conversation, especially with the nonsense he's doing, in the Champions League right now. With that much resources, I mean, you are struggling to beat the likes of Rangers, struggling to beat the likes of I'm looking at the likes of Marseille and the likes. So just to cut the long story short, the Liverpool game is, a game of mental block, really, and a game of, no matter how Arsenal, how good they are in recent years, face a dying Liverpool side. Liverpool will always have, the better edge against against Arsenal, actually. But yesterday, like I said, especially that Tomiyasu Salah trick. I mean, that was absolutely brilliant.
When I saw that lineup, when I saw Tomiyasu, I said no. That was super.
Was Tierney not on the bench? I was like, people were criticizing where I was watching the fight. That Tierney go start. I was like, hey, you guys don't understand this thing.
Only for anyone who does not know Tomiyasu will complain when you find Tomiyasu.
He's coming from a long injury.
And
this is the same complaints we made when he brought in the likes of Vieira, brought in against Manchester United back then. So starting
complaint I had, bringing in
people. I'm not saying you. I'm saying this was the sort of complaint some Arsenal fans had back then. So Tomiyasu against a runner like Mohamed Salah, and Tomiyasu and Salah on the same, putting them on the same pedestal in terms of pace. Salah will always beat a Tomiyasu, take it or leave it. in terms of pace. I'm not talking about anything else. So you would have questioned that decision. It could have failed yesterday. Take it or leave it.
No, it couldn't have failed.
It could have failed.
But the guy is undefeated.
Yeah,
he uses both legs.
He uses both legs, but
and
the right leg is the stronger legs.
And Tomiyasu has been one of Arsenal's most consistent
like
defenders.
I said, he's coming from a very long long-term injury.
So he has been getting a playing
cameo
time
appearances
during
yes.
In the Europa League.
Yes, I understand.
And he played in the midweek.
I understand.
He posted a wonderful performance.
I don't disagree.
In the midweek.
I don't disagree.
So the coach must have seen that quality, that someone who is combative, energetic.
If it has failed, would have come here to bash him.
No. I wouldn't have.
Maybe you wouldn't have. But I know some had even been bashing him right from the viewing center where I was watching. Like shouldn't have done this. So I'm not saying Liverpool are not are not at their best right now. But if Salah had gotten, probably when Arsenal went gongo, gotten a few runs, counter attacks, and put the ball on the run, Tomiyasu, it would have been arguably very difficult for Tomiyasu to track him down. I'm talking about pace right now.
Yeah, but if he had used Tierney, Tierney has this penchant to go forward.
Yeah.
So that could have allowed Mohamed Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold to run riot.
Yeah, I do understand.
But Tomiyasu is a very conservative defender. He's somewhat conservative. He also moves forward.
Yeah.
Not that, but he's more conservative. He has the energy.
Yeah.
So it was really needed in that game to tame Salah and Alexander-Arnold at the same time.
At the end of the day, the frailties of Alexander-Arnold actually showed, and congratulations to Arsenal fans. I'm happy. I mean, you have coaches that are thinking, unlike some people that will keep telling that they still have an Harry Maguire in their team, they will not buy, our particular thinking. Well, it's a very wonderful weekend for the Nigerians. Actually, I mean, very very brilliant weekend. I mean, I can go on and on from Alex Iwobi scoring. Yeah, I would say a very brilliant performance, but he was still suspect, especially in those two goals that Manchester United actually scored. The first goal that Manchester United scored, he passed to Idris Agoye, and I felt like, man, you shouldn't have passed to that particular guy in that particular situation. It was a tight situation. You could have looked for other options. And Casemiro snatched the ball, passed to Anthony, and that was the end of the discussion. The second goal also, I mean, the ball was snatched from Iwobi himself, but nevertheless he got a goal for it. So who says not a beautiful performance? Terry Murphy in France, 2 goals for Lorient, and I think he should be looking around the top, talking about the top scorers charts in France right now. Also Josh Maja for Bordeaux, a very brilliant one. Ademola Lookman also scored for Atalanta. Chidozia Waziem in Croatia. I mean, he's played 8 games this season, and as a defender, he scored 3 goals. This is the second goal that he's scoring successively, and his goal actually helped his team, get a very brilliant points yesterday. Also, Cremonese. I mean, Siri Desas for all the brilliance at Feyenoord last season. 8 games he has not been able to score, for Cremonese, and yesterday was able to at least cancel that drought. And I can go on and on. Ajax also, Calvin Bassey got the first goal after a series of bad performances against AZ Alkmaar, against Napoli in the Champions League, against which other team? Well, being able to help them bounce back right now. So, brilliant weekend for the Nigerians. CAF Confederations Cup and CAF Champions League.
Upsetting the big boys.
Exactly.
Rivers United upsetting Wydad, and also Plateau United upsetting Experience. Sweet memories, sweet experience.
Yeah, I think it started from the reconnaissance. Actually, started with Remo Stars when they went all the way to Cameroon to get a 1-0 draw. Oh no, sorry, Morocco, I think, to get a 1-0 draw. I mean, in that particular grounds like that, they are slaughter tabs for the Nigerian team.
Very difficult.
You'd have expected that Remo Stars would get defeated like 3-0, but I mean, they were able to hold it in, even though they came back to Nigeria here, and unfortunately they couldn't hold it. But still, that's a sort of improvement for me. So the gyration about Nigerian teams, struggling or getting away from the captivity of the Northern African teams right now. I'm not buying it yet because, like I said, I still give Red Stars kudos for getting that draw outside of the Nigeria, the first round of qualification games actually. But another thing, almost all the teams, the three teams went a go down at some point, and they rallied back, to win. So I think it's a good one for Nigerian football actually. Well, as it stands right now, out of the three contestants, I hope that the three can remain. But as it stands right now, even if we do not do well in the second leg, at least two of the three will still remain in the continent, because the CAF Champions League guys will just drop to the Confederations Cup and the story continues. But it's a very brilliant one, although I'm not falling for the hype yet, because you can still go to North Africa, Tunisia and Morocco and get nuclear bombalized. But celebrate these little wins.
Yes, it's a celebration.
And I had a friend who saw the Kwara United game actually. The Kwara State Deputy Governor was on ground and to watch that particular match. Another thing that one thing that the guy said was that Kwara missed quite a lot of chances in that particular game. They could have scored much more than they scored, and this is another thing that as Nigerian teams we actually need to work against losing chances, because Remo Stars also, it was claimed that the first leg they could have even ended up winning 2-1, but they lost quite a lot of chances. I hope that the second leg the chances that we lost would not come back to haunt us. And this game, don't go through throttle, please. Just park train, park aeroplane, park caterpillar, park Micra, go and look for a tractor, park it.
And the under 23 guys are also in Ibadan.
Yeah,
they will camping in Ibadan, and at their game against Tanzania, the second leg will also be holding at the Lake Salami Sports Complex. Sweet stories at this morning.
Yeah, Sunday Daddy, I see you. Very honorable sports minister. Because this is not the NFF's doing actually; it's the sports ministry doing.
Yeah, so that is why you have to have your own.
Yes,
it is important. Yes, so it's a really good one.
Yes,
I'm very sure many football lovers in Ibadan. I'm very sure someday they will bring the Super Eagles to Ibadan, because when they see when they see the massive turnout. When they see the massive turnout, hopefully, for the under 23 guys.
And we hope it's violence free when the time comes actually.
Yes, definitely too. We know that we are peaceful in Ibadan.
Yeah, definitely.
We are peace loving people.
Amen.
Yes, so we're looking forward to seeing Salisu Yusuf and his boys. Thank you for listening. Toye Shoyibode is my name.
Yeah, I'm Ajibola Samuel. Have a wonderful day ahead of you.
Magic System, Red One, Shawky.
Don't you allow any man stop you from achieving your dream.
I have a dream that one day